I've been informed we can only take one more question, so we'll get to this one, and then we'll do individuals. So, do you support the Patriot Act?
I'll put it this way. I think there's certainly elements, so much of the Patriot Act already exists in law, and they just put it within that law. I certainly share the concerns of the civil liberties. Now that you have Barack Obama in power versus George Bush. I wasn't overly concerned with George Bush in power. I'm a little more concerned about the Patriot Act when you have Barack Obama. I think it was very wise I hate to say that, very wise for Congress to make that renewable. Okay? I'd like to see the whole thing renewable every couple of years. We're forced to do that. But no, I think it was necessary to update. Part of the Patriot Act really was updating laws to account for cell phones and that kind of stuff, so that we could actually track terrorists overseas and stuff. I mean, I think it was a necessary. Our nation was at risk. When you're at risk by things like international terrorism stuff, you have to react to that, and you sometimes have to give up a little bit. But again, I like the fact that it should be temporary in nature and it should be subject to renewal.
Just a follow-up, are there any provisions like the warrantless searches that you're for, or the sneak and peeks where, or indefinite detention?
Or the fusion centers, or
anything specific? I mean,
no,
because I'm concerned, and I know a lot of us are concerned that, the Themayak report where they said, Tea Party groups, Ron Paul supporters, and so, returning veterans are considered possible on a watch list for possible terrorists. And I'm concerned that, we could all of a sudden, and now there's some legislation being proposed where, if you write a check possibly to a terrorist group, you could be held indefinitely.
Again,
so that's where I'm concerned.
No. I understand the concerns, but I think you also have to take a look at what's happened since it was passed back in 2001, or was it 2001 or 2002? There really hasn't. I'm not aware of really single instances of a real civil liberty violation that's been prosecuted or really even alleged. So I mean, but there are checks and balances. Again, I understand the concern from the standpoint of civil liberty. I do. Again, that's why it should be renewable.
The possibility is there.
I mean, there's a possibility for all kinds of things, but I mean,
that's why we have the Second Amendment.
We do. It's one of the reasons, but we do have checks and balances in these things. Okay.
Well, Ben Franklin said, those that would give up liberty for security deserve neither. And I think a lot of us in this room feel like we will keep our liberty and we will take care of ourselves to a great extent. This other thing where they're looking at Americans and that type of thing is very, very...
I understand, but we are talking about a day and age now where we're talking about terrorists potentially getting hold of nuclear power or nuclear bombs, suitcase bombs from the Soviet Union and stuff. I mean, we do have to have tools. Our security systems have got to have tools for monitoring that. And
understood. But apart from our military, can you name one thing the federal government has actually done well for us?
Oh, no.
And we should trust them with this?
I'm as skeptical as you in terms of the effectiveness of the federal government. Okay.
Now your Patriot Act thing up there, we got all these checks and balances. We were down in Nogales, Arizona, Mexico, about 4 or 5 years ago. Semis coming through there, one right behind the other, window down, holds up the clipboard, waving, no idea what's in. Now, is that protecting our country?
No, that's absurd. I mean, again.
It's true, though. That's what's happening.
No, I understand. I mean, I'm as outraged as you that we haven't secured the borders. Okay. I mean, absolutely. I mean, the other, if you want to get into illegal immigration, I mean, that is in my mind, again, the first order of government is to protect the population. National defense, security of the borders. Okay, that's the first thing we have to do. I'm also an employer. We pay a good wage. I have no sympathy for these businesses that employ illegal immigrants. We should follow the law. We should enforce the law. And again, I kind of scratch my head going, I know we can secure the border, and I know we can probably enforce these laws. I mean, why isn't it happening? Okay.
Somebody in these legislative departments, when our own governor was wanting to give illegals loans for homes, I called his office. I said, what part of that word illegal does that man not understand?
Yeah, I understand.
So since we're on illegal immigration, I'm going to sneak this in. Do you support the new Arizona illegal immigration law?
I haven't read in detail. I'm very sympathetic with it. I mean, let's face it. I mean, with all the what Phoenix has the highest kidnap rate. Is it in the world? I mean, it's certainly in the U.S. And I mean, you got the cross-border murders now of these ranchers, and you know all the mayhem going down there. I mean, I'm very sympathetic with the fact that you know the federal government has abdicated its responsibility there. I certainly understand why Arizona's done that, and I think it's been totally misreported in terms of the you know, racial profile aspect. I mean, I think it's been pretty well proven that's just bunk.
Should we give county sheriffs the ability to be able to detain illegal immigrants?
Yeah. Yes. They're breaking the law. You know.
Somebody should be enforcing it.
Yes, that's exactly right.
In terms of fear of nuclear weapons, I'm reminded of the caveman when he saw his first spear. And I imagine the fellow with the spear had the same fear when he saw a bow and arrow.
Yes.
So I have no worries about being afraid of a nuclear weapon, for what reason I would need any additional security other than the club that I may already have.
I guess.
Being a former policeman, I see no advantage to the Patriot Act whatsoever, except a threat to my freedom. If I need a wiretap, or if I'm involved, or I see a situation where I think I might, in order to keep things appropriate, need a search warrant for, I can get one real short order by getting some judge out of bed in the middle of the night. No problem. I don't need the Patriot Act whatsoever.
Okay. Well, I'll disagree with you on that. Okay. I'll just respectfully disagree with you. I mean, I think there are some very scary things out there that we better be keeping an eye on. We better be listening to you know, conversations between terrorists overseas. You know, whether it's biological weapons or there's some.
I'm not
there's
concerned
some
about a
stuff.
terrorist overseas. I am far more afraid of my own government than I am a terrorist overseas, by a whole bunch.
I'll just respectfully disagree with you, sir.
Okay. I guess that I've been told that's the conclusion of the main questions. Ron's going to stick around for a while and meet everybody, so feel free if you have any other questions. Come on up, and so that concludes this portion. So,
Okay, thanks.
on the forum.
Thank you.
Okay.